With the summer rapidly coming to an end, fall and the return of fall sports are just around the corner. I'm Cole Young, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Corner. We are just 13 days away from the start of the NFL season, which means teams are making the final adjustments to fine-tune their teams before the season begins. One major adjustment for some teams is naming a starting quarterback. While there are still a few teams with a question mark in that department, the Carolina Panthers came forward earlier this week and named new addition Baker Mayfield their starting quarterback for Week 1 over another former first-round pick, Sam Darnold. Mayfield was traded to the Panthers just a few months ago, and many thought he would not be prepared to lead the team right off the bat. Panthers head coach Matt Rule told ESPN about the process of nominating a starter, saying, quote, "When we started the process, we said we were looking at three things. Number one, mastery of the offense. Number two, situational football excellence. And number three, moving the ball and getting guys involved. Baker has made a lot of improvement, a lot of growth in all three areas in a short amount of time." End quote. This announcement is also significant because the Panthers face off against Mayfield's former team, the Cleveland Browns, in Week 1. After leading the Browns to an 11-5 season and a playoff appearance in 2020, Mayfield struggled last season, only managing to win 6 games as a starter, while also dealing with a debilitating shoulder injury. Mayfield will definitely have something to prove in the season opener. Several rookies will also look to make big impacts on their rosters beginning Week 1, and one major name in this year's draft that will be making an impact this season is edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux. After sustaining what looked like a severe, possible season-ending knee injury during the preseason, the Giants were told that their first-round pick only suffered a sprained MCL. He was given a return timetable of 3 to 4 weeks, leaving room for a slight possibility that he could return for the season opener. As I mentioned a few times now, this is exactly why the preseason gets a lot of negative press. Luckily, the real deal season begins very soon. Even sooner than that is Week 0 of college football, which will start the season this Saturday. When college football is brought up, I'm sure most fans can get a clear image of one of their favorite players, schools, or historic moments. And I'm sure many of those people would picture Alabama head coach Nick Saban. Saban has made major news this week when he signed a new contract extension, making him regain the title of highest paid public university football coach. Coach Saban will now remain with the Crimson Tide from now until 2030, making an average of $11.7 million a year. While this is big news, it really comes as zero surprise to anyone. Saban has won 7 national championship titles, 6 with Alabama and 1 with LSU, which is the most in college football history. Alabama has made it to the national championship 9 times since 2007 when Saban arrived, and the program has produced dozens of future NFL Hall of Famers and has flourished under his leadership. And as a head coach, Saban has an all-time career record of 269 wins, only 67 losses, and only 1 tie. As I said, considering all those accolades and achievements, it really is no surprise that Saban will remain at Alabama for most likely the rest of his coaching career. Football is beginning and baseball is slowly wrapping up, and a few months ago I predicted that 2 of the 3 Southern California teams would make the playoffs. Currently, the Dodgers are favorites to win the World Series, the Padres have a large question mark, and the Angels are out of the playoff picture. Not only are they out of the playoff picture, but it was announced Tuesday night that Angels owner Artie Moreno will most likely be selling the franchise. Moreno has owned the club since 2004, and most fans rejoice at this idea as the team has very obviously been faced with struggles in recent history. The team has not made a playoff appearance since 2014 and have struggled to bring in the right players to support the roster. The Halos currently have 2 of the best players in baseball history, yet have had one of the most horrendous seasons this year. New ownership will hopefully bring in more revenue that can sign more players, re-sign current players on the roster that have expiring contracts, and maybe even change the team back to the Anaheim Angels instead of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, which makes no geographic sense. Hopefully this will be a fresh start and the team can return to its former glory. The past few weeks and the next 2 or so weeks are all filled with excitement and anticipation while the sports world slowly comes back to life. Tune in this time next week as I will give my NFL season predictions and preview in a special edition 30th episode. I'm Cole Young, and thank you again for watching this week's edition of Sports Corner. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.